Hi, I'm Bill from CJ Pony Parts. There's a never-ending debate on the value of a cold air kit on a Coyote engine, but the fact remains that the faster cars out there, for the most part, still run a cold air intake on their car. Since the Coyote came out in 2011, one of the most popular kits has always been the Steeda ProFlow with consistent horsepower gains. Well, this kit here will fit your 2015 through 2017 Coyote, and today we're going to install it on this 2016 Mustang GT. This Steeda ProFlow intake is going to fit your 2015 through 2017 GT with manual or automatic transmission. The unique part of this cold air intake, though, is this CNC machined mass air system. The way this works is it comes with this insert here. If you're running the insert, there is no tune required with this cold air intake, and Steeda still claims 20 horsepower and 18 foot-pound of torque. Now, if you choose to remove this, it will require a custom tune, but you'll see even more gains with that setup. Like I said, as it is, you can install it without a tune using this insert, which is what we're going to do on this 2016 Mustang GT. Now, something I want to mention quickly is the connections to the intake tube. On your 2015 and most 2016s, you're going to have 3 connections here. On the late 16s and the 17s, there's only 2, but Steeda includes the necessary cap for installation. For this installation, you need a 1/4-inch ratchet, 5.5mm socket, 7mm socket, 8mm socket, 10mm socket, 12mm socket, an extension, flathead screwdriver, 3/32 Allen key, 4mm Allen key, T20 Torx bit, pliers, hacksaw, and safety glasses. Our first step, obviously, remove the factory components. And once you disconnect the mass air sensor and all these air fittings, the whole intake can be unbolted and come out as one piece. But to do that, the first thing we have to do is get to this clamp by removing the intake cover. Now, in a performance pack like our car, you can remove this to give you more room, but if you're careful, you can actually get this up and out of the way without removing the strut brace. Start by loosening up the clamp at the throttle body. Next, we'll disconnect everything. This is a push, just push this fitting in here. Same thing here. One below, there's a little gray clip. Just pop the clip over. And this one here, you'll need some pliers. Then the mass air sensor, there's a little clip on the bottom. Slide that off. You want to make sure you pull a little plastic tab off the airbox as well. Okay, with everything unplugged, now you can remove this bolt over here on the fender. Pop this imposer off the corner of the airbox. Pull the tube off the throttle body. You lift up and pull the whole airbox out of the car. With our stock intake on the table, now we're going to do some disassembly. The first thing we're going to do is get rid of this. Just a couple plastic clips and this will pop off. That out of the way. Now we can remove our mass air sensor. Before we put the airbox aside, I'm going to grab this grommet as well if it didn't stay in the car and put that back in the inner fender. Now we'll take this stud, provided bolt and washer, and the hole towards the front of the car, and install this stud. Now we're going to install the mass air sensor housing. You're going to put it through from the inside of the airbox. We're actually going to twist it once it's in there, so the sensor opening facing the front of the car, and then bolt it on with the provided hardware. Make sure the holes are clear. Sometimes there's a little plastic flashing in there, which will make these hard to get in. All right, now we're going to put the restrictor into the mass air housing. To do that, put a little lubrication on these O-rings. It'll make it a lot easier to get this thing to go on. You want to make sure when you do it, you line that opening up as well. The restrictor in place, now we can install the mass air sensor from our original intake and install it with the supplied hardware. Now we can install the filter on the velocity stack and then tighten that up. Now we can install the provided seal on the box starting over here on the end. For the next step, you'll probably use a hacksaw, but what you have to do is just above this lip here, you have to cut this off because this will not work with our new kit. Once you have it cut off, you're going to grab the supplied plug, just pop it in. Now we'll connect this back on the new Steeda pipe. There are little studs that go in each of these little factory push pin locations. When you push it down, it'll lock in place. This will grab the larger silicone tube. This will fit over the mass air size here. We'll just snug that up a little bit for now. Now make sure you put this rubber grommet back into place. We can fit the new Steeda box. Now take the provided bolt and washer, install that in the back here. Now we're going to put the smaller side of the other coupler with the clamp on the throttle body. Get ready to install the plastic tube. Before we install the intake tube, we have to put the PCV adapter on. What's going to happen is this hose is going to go on here, and then the metal fitting is going to go here on the other side. That there. And install and tighten down the two clamps. On the tube, you have a larger end that goes to the mass air and a smaller end of the throttle body. We're going to install this in the bottom with the metal fitting facing towards the throttle body. And now we're going to fit the intake tube. Let's get it out of the way here. And tighten everything down. Now we're going to connect these hoses here. Start with the PCV. It's going to take the larger fitting. Insert it till it locks into place there. Then slide it into the intake tube. Now this line here, if you have a 2017, you're not going to have this. So what you're going to do, grab the supplied plug and just plug that hole. In our case, just pop the fitting in. Lock it in place, and press it in. And lastly, we're going to reconnect the sound tube. Now you do have the option to delete the sound tube if you wanted to. They do include a plug. In our case, for this car, for this application, for now, we're going to leave it on. we're going to plug the mass air back in. There's a little hole in the box for the harness. Push it on. Click the right tab and your installation's finished. If nothing else, the Steeda fit great and looks good under the hood, but given our experience with the ProFlow and previous Coyotes, we're sure it's going to make some horsepower as well. The installation is very easy, take you probably around an hour, be back on the road in no time.